Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Lorwyn is out on Arena now, and building around this cool new card, Temple Garden. It's a land, forest, plains. Enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, enters the battlefield tapped. That's pretty sweet. That's right, Temple Garden in standard. Ding, 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 ding. Time for celebration. Trying out this green-white go wide brew. Really weird one. The actual card we're testing from Lorwyn is Slumbering Walker, 5 mana, 4/7, enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it. At the beginning of your end step, you may remove a counter from this creature. When you do, return target creature card with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, I know I spend a lot of time in these videos, maybe a little too much time, complaining about the inevitability of Ouroboros, Badgermole Cub, the combination of the two, and the sort of unfair boards they're able to present. Well, if you can't beat them, join them, and we're going to join them for a little bit today. A small diversion to test out this Slumbering Walker idea. Slumbering Walker, it can reanimate Ouroboros. It can reanimate Icetill Explorer, Badgermole Cubs, all sorts of relevant things. So we're mostly in a green shell, kind of with this classic ramp core, getting a lot of value out of our graveyard. We're also on 4 Bulwark Ox in the main here. Kind of think of this as like this deck's version of Detect Intrusion, aka Spider Sense, where once we have our big Ouroboros boards produced, they become very, very resilient. Another thing that we can return with the Slumbering Walker, and because Bulwark Ox says sacrifice this creature, creatures you control with counters on them gain hexproof and indestructible. If we just return Bulwark Ox with Slumbering Walker, and that's our only board, we get to sacrifice the Bulwark Ox to protect our Slumbering Walker for a turn cycle to continue to generate value, because the Walker will have a -1/-1 counter on it still. For Esper Origins, for Nature's Rhythm, got a lot of mana to work with. I'm not on the Craterhoof Behemoth plan today because we're on this sort of Icetill self-mill value plan. It can get a little weird when you accidentally mill over the Craterhoof Behemoth. Not the end of the world if that happens, I guess, but I felt like just going for our Ouroboros and our Slumbering Walkers is probably going to be enough. 24 lands, a good amount of basics for our Fabled Passages, couple Bossing Say, couple Restless Prairie, and of course, 4 beautiful Temple Gardens. Sideboard, 3 Rex Sage, 4 Soul Guide Lantern, 4 Seam Rip, 4 Split Up for the other go-wide matchups. I think the Rex Sage will be pretty good here. A target for Nature's Rhythm can be returned with Slumbering Walker, and we're not soft to Rest in Peace, but we've put ourselves in a position where Rest in Peace is going to be pretty decent against us, so having a good amount of answers to that I think is going to be important, especially tutorable ones. Anywho, let's jump into some matches, see what other people are up to now that Lorwyn is out on Arena, and hopefully get some wins, get on a little hot streak today here. All right, match number 1, starting out on the play. Pretty solid hand, I think. Decently fast Icetill Explorer here. It probably makes sense to lead on the Molt Tender. That way we can activate this on turn 2. Play an Elves. Maybe it makes more sense to go Elf and then Esper Origins Molt Tender turn 2. See what our opponent's up to. Well, there's a Badgermole Cub. Okay, well, that's pretty good. Yeah, I suppose we just play a Cub, set up for big mana next turn. Go for a mill. Only on 2 Molt Tenders, just to round out the mana dork count. Probably the worst of them in this deck, but not bad. We want some amount of self-mill. I think that's okay. I haven't played a whole lot of Ouroboros mirrors. I'm guessing that's what this is. They also have a Cub. Well, we have the play. I'm going to guess it's whoever gets the Ouroboros going first tends to win these. Them being in black means they likely have main deck removal, which we do not. We're kind of all in on the generate a big board plan. Mill a card. There's a land in our graveyard. There's a Slumbering Walker. Interesting. So we can go play an Elf, play an Icetill. We could play an Icetill, play this land, Esper Origins. I think getting the Icetill online makes sense. Oh, I guess I probably have to lead on this Esper Origins. No, I guess I can't do it all. I can play the Walker. That's not quite going to be enough. But in order to play this Icetill, I have to exile this forest. I guess I'm going to go for Esper Origins. See what we mill here. There's a Fabled Passage and an Ouroboros on top. I think I know better not to... Oh, maybe I should have put the Ouroboros in my graveyard for the Walker here. Let's just play the Elves here. Makes sense to me. Leave the Fabled Passage. Not the best turn in the world. They're going to untap with a lot of mana here. See if we can fight through whatever they do. Missing our land drop. Not the best outcome for us. Formidable Speaker. Ooh, that'd be kind of sweet in this list. Okay, they're going for the combo. The Bloodghast, Beifong's Bounty Hunters combo, I'm guessing. There's an Ouroboros. Unless they just are on Bloodghast to produce these big Ouroboros boards. That's kind of interesting. Ouroboros on the field. Bitter Triumph my Badgermole Cub. Makes sense to me. Yeah, I kind of think they're going to get this one. Fair enough. Let's just bring in our interaction. Go to sideboard, bring in our interaction for game 2. Split up, seam rips. I would guess Slumbering Walker could be good here. I want to keep it in just to test it. Let's go down the Nature's Rhythms. Let us go... Maybe we don't need Bulwark Ox in this matchup. Go down a couple Bulwark Ox, go down a couple Icetills maybe. Try it like that. Maybe we don't need the Icetills at all. I don't know. Just trying it out. I think it sounds interesting to me with the Slumbering Walker on certain boards. Enabling the self-mill. Gonna keep this. Gene Pollinator helps us do some pretty nice things with the split up. Maybe Bulwark Ox could be relegated to the sideboard. Go for a Cub. Forest. I'd like to draw a little bit of action here. Wouldn't mind an Ouroboros. If you insist. I mean, I wouldn't say no. Hushwood Verge. Double white online. Start swinging in here, I guess. Go for a Bulwark Ox. Pass it back to you. Yes. Yes, it's Bulwark Ox. Bitter Triumph on the Ox. Fair enough. They respect. They respect. Let me know, by the way, anyone watching out there, what cards from Lorwyn are you excited about? Leave a comment below. Is it just the shocks? Kind of a boring answer, but, I mean, Temple Garden is pretty sweet. Is it a certain tribal archetype? Bomb Mythic? Let me know. I guess there's a chance they get part of the combo online next turn, but I don't know that there's anything they can actually do with it. I could just seam rip this Umbral Caller Zealot. The Bloodcast can't block, so Just Seam Rip the Zealot, start swinging in. Play a Molt Tender. I might just hold on to the land this turn in case I draw an Icetill. Might be able to get the ramp going. Overlord of the Baelmerk. Okay. Hits the Beifong Bounty Hunters. Haven't run into this deck too much. Esper Origins, pretty nice draw here. Let's go ahead and cast that. Ouroboros on top. Well, I don't think we say no to an Ouroboros. Pretty sure the whole point is that we don't say no to Ouroboros. Double Ouroboros. Okay. You disgust me, you filthy little plant worm. I feel fucking sick to my stomach playing this deck, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna suck it up. For the content. Do it for the content, Eric. I guess that's not probably why people watch me anyway, to win matches of Magic. Thus far, hasn't been my forte necessarily. It's more so, you know, exploring ideas and playing jank. But I was just curious about the Slumbering Walker, you know? And the fact that it reanimates some of the most powerful cards in the format piqued my interest. Beifong's Bounty Hunters. Well, I kind of feel like they're still pretty far from the combo. Don't they, like, need a desert, too? To do sort of an infinite damage thing? They could have it, I guess. They could have, like, desert in hand plus... plus a sacrifice outlet. Just go double Ouroboros. Isn't that the whole idea? I don't know. I guess I lose to desert plus sacrifice outlet. But they might have to block this, actually. So, just kidding, I don't. Because they do have to block this. Yeah, this shit is nasty. Why is this so good? Why did they let this be so good? Yeah, you have to block this, I guess. Sorry. They were trying to do cool stuff. But instead we got them with the plant worm. Yeah. I know. I know it. I don't feel good about it, brother. You're hovering over my cards. I'm hovering my own. Hovering over my own cards, dude. I'm bringing up. I think the first Soul Guide Lantern is at least okay. Guarantee that they can't combo. Go down a Bulwark Ox. Try it like that. This is pretty good. You know, I realize they don't need a desert if they have a sack outlet and. Oh no. If they have a sack outlet plus Earthbender's Ascension, because it's just infinite landfall trigger, so then you get an infinitely large trampling attacker. But there is the Festering Gulch. It is real. Go for an Esper Origins here. Maybe I should have milled first into Esper Origins. Slumbering Walker. Interesting. Well, we want the Badgermole Cub, and we want to, but we also want to be able to, like, just mill a Slumbering Walker for now. No, don't attack. We need to be able to generate mana off the Molt Tender, and so next turn we get to get a mana neutral Badgermole Cub, of course, kind of the classic, and then cast an Ouroboros, once again, kind of the classic. Opponent hanging out. Yeah, go for a Badgermole Cub. See if they have removal. Go for an Ouroboros. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm sorry that I've brought disgrace upon the Eric MTG. YouTube.com/the Eric MTG. Yeah. Alright, want to know, but I don't feel good about it. Let's move into the next one. quick interstitial pack opening. See what we get. Tristan, Callous Cultivator. I'm not much of an elves guy. Alright. Match 2. On the draw. Gotta mulligan this, I think. It's not busted, so we mulligan. Right? Isn't that kind of the whole idea? I would consider this video a win, by the way, if like I actually get a game where the giant looks pretty good. I'm going to keep this. Let's get rid of second Esper Origins. I think this hand's okay. We get to go turn 1, Fabled Passage. Maybe find a forest into double Gene Pollinator. And then Bulwark Ox. Well, there's a Molt Tender. Definitely going to lead on the Fabled Passage. Double Starting Town. Crack my fetch. And maybe we just get a white source. Find our planes. Start swinging in with a Bulwark Ox. Draw some removal, perhaps. Fabled Passage on the stack. Let's just grab the planes here. Kind of conceals some information, too. Like, if they remove this, maybe it's... Oh, there... Well... On second thought... I'm going to go with the Bulwark Ox, because if I can give my Badgermole Cub indestructible on a future turn, that could be worth it. Draw some removal away from higher priority targets. Kind of seems like they have like a no more lies. Picklock Prankster. What is our opponent up to? Twilight Diviner. Twilight Diviner. When this creature enters Surveil 2, whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard, create a token once per turn. Exciting. Okay, so we're trying to do like double up our abhorrent oculuses. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Excited to see this happen. Emptiness. Oh. Yo, it's another sort of helping hand effect. I mean, it's 2 mana, but it's very flexible. Probably the best 2 mana return a creature mana value 3 or less effect in standard now. Sweet. And a Moon Shadow. Okay. Excited to see what our opponent's up to here. Back to me. Hushwood Verge is a good draw. So let's go Badgermole Cub. They might kill my Cub. Kind of feeling like they're about to kill my Cub here. They do. Okay. Blighting Hex. New Fatal Push. Kind of. I think this will see some decent standard play. Let's swing in with the Bulwark Ox here. Put a counter on the Ox. See if they'll trade. They probably won't. Start putting some pressure up. Bulwark Ox, maybe more of a sideboard card. We'll see. Exciting stuff. And then the double black mode. 3/1/1 counters. Yeah, it seems really good. Seems like the kind of card I would play. Going for double black here on this Evoke. Just trying to kill off the Ox. Yeah. Sacrifice the Ox. Swing it in. Slumbering Walker, eh? Well, it looks pretty good once we get the mana to be able to cast it. So I guess let's start committing some stuff to the board here. This could be our Slumbering Walker game, right here. Icetill Explorer in the graveyard. Maybe it just makes sense to hit the land drop here. Guarantee that we get to cast our Walker next turn because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the forest on top. Okay, I like that. And then we can reanimate the Icetill Explorer if we want. They're kind of eyeing killing one of my dorks. I kind of think that's the wrong one. They probably should have just killed a Molt Tender. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. Okay. Resolving a Winter Night Stories. Haven't seen anything crazy happen. The Lively Dirge seems like an interesting inclusion. Alright, well, we have a window. Let's see if it's any good. I guess we'll save the Molt Tender Exile. Could be relevant. Slumbering Walker. Yes. Remove a counter. Let's get back the Icetill Explorer. Probably sets us up the best. It'd be nice if it was like an activated ability. Would that be busted if it was an activated ability, activate only once per turn sort of thing? Because I kind of feel like there's some implications with that with Agatha Soul Cauldron, perhaps. Well, double Oculi on the field. We're not just dead. Resolves. We can't block these guys, but another Slumbering Walker. We can produce a pretty big board here. So let's start by ramping a little here. Fabled Passage situation. We can double Slumbering Walker, get back quite a bit, including a Badgermole Cub to make our board even wider. Nature's Rhythm. Icetill. Okay. Forest. So we can go... Can we do Walker and Origins? No. But we could do Origins and Nature's Rhythm, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nature's Rhythm for an Ouroboros here. That might be better. Although if we hit an Ouroboros, we're putting the Walker to 0 and won't be able to trigger it. So maybe we just play the Walker here. A little awkward. A bit of tension. So we grab Badgermole Cub to maximize our width next turn. Move a counter here. Grab an Ouroboros to maximize our height next turn. And then we get to Nature's Rhythm for a second Ouroboros or another Badgermole Cub. I mean, the board is big. We are dying to these abhorrent oculi, but I guess they can't really swing into us either because they need blockers. They're pretty wide themselves though. So maybe they're not too worried. Once again, a position where I guess Craterhoof would be pretty good, obviously. But Slumbering Walker got to get some Revivifies going. Emptiness, killing off one of my guys. Kills off the Ouroboros. Okay, well, if I double Esper Origins, if I get... Okay. Well, I'm probably dead to this. That's pretty sweet, though. Looks like a split-up kind of match. Get hit for 1 million in the air. Is there anything we could draw here that would help us? Moonshadow interesting. I guess it's a 1/1. 1 mana 7/7. Okay. Moving on to the next one. 1 mana 7/7 is what I meant to say. Moving on to the next one. Bring our split ups in to be able to sort of win these big board fights. I don't think we care about Seam Rips, but also Soul Guide Lantern. Take out the Bulwark Oxes, a little awkward. Bring in a Nature's Rhythm. Sorry, take out a couple Nature's Rhythm. I don't know where my mind is. Take out a couple Molt Tenders here, I suppose. Try it like this. Try it like this. On the play. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. We get, once again, that sort of situation where we get to be in control of our own destiny with the split-ups. The Ram situation with a million Gene Pollinators is not as good as it looks, because we just don't have the permanence to tap to generate mana, but it's not so bad. Quitting Hex on a Gene Pollinator. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. As long as we draw another land next turn, we'll be kind of in the money here. Ideally, a Fabled Passage, even if it takes us an extra turn to get the Icetill on the field. I think a Fabled Passage would be pretty good. Emptiness. Killing off another Gene Pollinator. Fine. Fabled Passage. Right on time. Swinging for 1. Right on time. Moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Any Cat Stevens fans in the chat? Did it take long to find me? Opponent, not sure what to do about Gene Pollinator. They're contemplating killing it, I guess. Okay. We're chilling. I'm not going to attack. I don't know. They might have some instant speed ways to mill and get me. I don't think they probably do, but they get to swing in for 1. Menace. Nature's Rhythm. We can Nature's Rhythm for 1 for a dork. That doesn't seem that worth it. That doesn't seem that worth it. I think we're chilling. Swing in. Double split up. We can afford to play a bit of a slower game here. There's our Hushwood Verge. So let's go for Icetill. Icetill, land, Icetill, land. A classic. A tale as old as time. Begin the Millening, or a Boroid in the graveyard. Swing for 1. They're just kind of stuck on blue mana, I feel like. Abhorrent Oculus, kind of a classically clunky card sometimes. Bitter Triumph, discards an Oculus. I'm going to respond to this by sacking my Fabled Passage here. Get an extra mill in. At this point, we can pretty much just grab forests. Slumbering Walker in the graveyard. The other shell I want to try this in is just like a mono-white mid-range deck. I mean, Cosmic Grand Zenith, you know, brings back Cosmic Grand Zenith, brings back Suki, brings back Enduring Curiosity. Without very much investment, you can just like wait for those things to die naturally. Enduring Curiosity is, I guess, a little awkward sometimes, but there's an enduring or an abhorrent Oculus on the field. I gotta go for a split up here. Seems fine though. Can I go Icetill and split up? I can, because I can tap the Icetill. No, wait. No, I can. I can just double Fabled Passage out of the graveyard. We just need to leave. So let's play the Bossing Say first. Icetill, Fabled Passage out of graveyard because we only have 1 white source left. Yeah, this is this is a great turn. Be a little proactive, wipe their board. Good mix of both things. No Soul Guide Lanterns yet. And we're on that, of course, because we are, doing graveyard stuff ourselves over a Rest in Peace, say. Go for a split up. Kind of an all-star, I think, for white decks right now, in general. Very easy to find 2-for-1s with this card. At the very least, 2-for-1s. And even if you just cast it as a 1-for-1, it's not too bad. Very flexible. Moonshadow. Oh, cool combination. Okay. That's really scary, actually. Yeah, great Oculus hit. This deck is sweet. Shout out to Zun Lai. Swinging in for 7. I guess I take it. I'm going to be able to block this pretty soon, but making myself a little bit vulnerable to air attacks. Play a Fabled Passage. See if they let me continue to do this. Play a Fabled Passage. Crack my Fabled Passages. See what we fill our graveyard up with here. I might just like Nature's Rhythm for a Badgermole Cub. Start to accelerate my mana. Slumbering Walker in the graveyard. Not that that does anything. I can Nature's Rhythm for 2. I'll have 5 lands, 4, 2, 8 mana, which is enough to Esper Origins plus Ouroboros if I hit Ouroboros off the Esper Origins. Seems pretty good. We also have this Bossing Say to work with. I guess I could just Nature's Rhythm. That's disgusting. If I Nature's Rhythm, though, they're just going to kill it. I think I'd rather just go for this. Maybe double Esper Origins now. That's pretty nasty. Get a little life back. Soul Guide Lantern. Not going to argue with that too much. No attacks. I might end up blocking if I have to. I don't think they probably have, like, extra gotcha damage in their deck. Winter Night Stories. No attacks. Kind of big for us. I wonder if they have any board wipes in their deck, or if they're all in on this reanimation mid-range plan. Dave Blacksun. Fair enough. Wipes the board. We have a lot to work with here. We could just Nature's Rhythm for 5. Get our Walker on the field. Start, like, bringing everything back from our graveyard. That's pretty good. We can also get a Soul Guide Lantern on the field. Keep them from reanimating their stuff. Hit an Oculus here. Yeah, for me, it's an Icetill Explorer. I think that makes the most sense. And they scoop it up. Okay, Slumbering Walker. I guess it could have been anything else in that position. Game 3. But still, I thought it looked pretty good. Maybe we want some amount of Seam Rips for early Moonshadow plays. The split up seemed pretty good though. Let's just keep it like this. Run it back. On the draw. Pretty good opener. We have turn 3 Ouroboros, and then if they kill it, Slumbering Walker. Need another white source, and we need our elves to survive. Kind of feels like unlucky or unlikely right now. But that's okay. Split up, pretty good draw. Could use a Temple Garden, or a Hushwood Verge, or Plains. I'm not picky. Another elf. Yeah, I'm just gonna play one elf as a way of playing around Day of Black Sun, which we know they have. Kind of hedge my bets here a little. I know it keeps me from playing Ouroboros next turn, but I'd rather like need to hit a land than need to hit 2 lands, I guess. I feel like that makes sense. Well, we get our Ouroboros on the field. Doing the thing. Do you have an answer? I mean, the inevitability on this card. I say it every time, but it's just insane. And they scoop it up. I don't like that play pattern. It's just like, hey, do you have it? On turn 3, do you have an answer? It's like, it reminds me of 2014 Splinter Twin in a way. I know it's a weird comparison, but it's just like, you need to have removal. You need to have removal. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you probably in, Splinter Twin is a turn, right? It's that turn, but 2 turns is not too far off from 1 turn on turn 4. Anywho, let's hop into the next one. But first, a quick pack opening for the homies. Ooh, Lorwyn Imperfect Naturalist. They really want me to play elves. Well, this is one I would play. I like that it does Worm Harvest as an activated ability. I find that pretty interesting. I had this in my 2-headed giant sealed pool on Sunday, and it played pretty nicely. I had 2 Dorans in my deck as well, so this was swinging in as a 3/5. Doran is definitely a deck I'll be kind of exploring, and I can see this in the Slumbering Walker as options for that. All right, match 3. On the draw, opponent mulligans to 6. I think I'm going to keep this. It's a little clunky with the double walkers, but we can set up our draws with Esper Origins here pretty nicely. I think I'll just lead on the Bossing Say if I have to, and then go for my Dorks on turn 2. Opponent taking some time on this one. Decides to keep 6. Leads on a tapped Godless Shrine. Bulwark Ox. My friend Bulwark Ox has joined us. Halia, guided by light. Adventurers in. I love this combination. Draws a card. Icetill Explorer. That's pretty nice till. Let's get our Dorks online just in case we draw like a Badgermole Cub. And if we hit a land next turn, we can play Icetill at the very least. Halia on the field. I don't think that's something we care about too much. Fabled Passage. Okay. Well, I could play the Icetill. I could just like play the Fabled Passage, tap it with the Gene Pollinator, and play an Icetill. I think that's probably pretty good. Start going off next turn, set up this Slumbering Walker. Lunar Convocation. Got ourselves a life gain player. Sheltered by Ghosts. Icetill is gone forever. They're going crazy with the triggers. Nature's Rhythm, huh? Probably makes sense to get our Badgermole Cub on the field. Nature's Rhythm for 2 here. I could turn on the Fabled Passage for an extra land drop. I think instead... Yeah, let's go for the Fabled Passage here. It's a little higher, it's a little less risky, I suppose. Like, if they deal with the Badgermole Cub, I get to at least ensure I hit my land drops over the course of some turns. Exemplar of Light. A little scary. A little scary. No blocks. Take 4. Exemplar popping off, and I am fading fast. Forest is a pretty good draw. So we can go Forest. We have 1,000,000 mana. We crack this. Grab a Plains. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can go Slumbering Walker plus Bulwark Hawk. I mean, I can't return anything yet. Let's hit this Esper Origins. See if I can hit anything of value. Maybe we just double Esper Origins here into Bulwark Hawks. Probably makes the most sense to me. There's an Ouroboros for our hand. Graveyard. I mean, obviously we want it in hand, but it is kind of nice in the graveyard for the walkers. Let's just put it in hand, I suppose. Perhaps a bit of revealing the ineffectiveness of this walker plan, perhaps. I don't know, though. Because, like, in long games, just having a way to, like, on another permanent, especially for Esper Origins, another way to rebuild post-board wipe, I think it's kind of interesting. Amalia. Benavides. Agide? I don't know. I don't know, man. All right. Fading fast. Fading fast to these big flyers. Not out of this yet, though. We have some extra life gain from these Esper Origins. Shocks themselves to trigger their Lunar Convocation. Swings for 7. Doesn't swing with the bat. Okay. Trigger the Lunar Convocation. I don't think I'm winning this one, but I think I'll have a pretty good shot in games 2 and 3. Probably just bring in some Seam Rips for Shelter by Ghosts and the Lunar Convocations, etc. Maybe even, once again, a split-up matchup. Probably pretty good. Fabled Passage. Well, we have to do Esper Origins stuff to survive. So let's go for the first Esper Origins here. Another Ouroboros. I think we can put that one in the graveyard. Yeah, I think I'm just dead to the flyers. Okay. No problem. Move into the next one. Cut the oxen. Bring in the split ups. Bring in Seam Rips. Maybe this should just be the main deck. Kind of seems to be what I want to be on. On the play. Okay. I asked for Slumbering Walker. They're giving it to me. They're giving it to me. Lead on this Elves, just in case we get to do some Ouroboros or Badgermole Cub stuff, I suppose. And if not, we just Fabled Passage next turn. I guess Fabled Passage makes sense anyway. If I draw a Badgermole Cub, I'm happy to... Sorry, I guess this turn 1 makes sense anyway, because if I draw Badgermole Cub, I get to play the Cub and crack the Fabled Passage turn 2. And then I'll have mana for a walker with nothing in my graveyard, I'll admit. I will admit that. But we can almost Nature's Rhythm for an Icetill pretty soon. To start setting that up. See what we draw here. Definitely with the split ups, it just becomes a more clear-cut mid-range style of deck, which might be better in general for Slumbering Walker to like shine. Just gives us way better top decks across the game. Icetill Explorer. Incredible draw. One of the best draws we could have drawn, if not the best. Start going crazy here. Set up these walkers. Just put like a big old Ouroboros in my graveyard. Why not? We'll take a forest. We'll take a forest. I don't have any qualms with forest. Sheltered by Ghosts. I wonder what they're gonna hit. On my Icetill. Let's get another mill in here. I might just Nature's Rhythm for another Icetill next turn. Unless I hit something crazy in my graveyard here. Let's just grab another Plains. Doesn't super matter. Ooh. Well. I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't have any qualms with that. The value proposition is kind of crazy, right? I guess I could just seam rip this bat, but I could always do that next turn if I needed to. I guess it would be a little more accelerating, I suppose. You know what? I should do that. Let's just seam rip the let's seam rip the Shelter by Ghost so I can continue to hit my land drops here. And then maybe it'll give me like an Ouroboros for the Slumbering Walker. I think hitting my land drops here is a little important. They have an effect of some kind, perhaps. Or maybe not. More mills. Sorry, Jeremy. Forest. Running out of forests. Bossing Say. Yeah, let's just get the Bossing Say while we can, I suppose. We have a target for the Walker anyway. Move a counter. Get back another Icetill. The mill going crazy. The mill going crazy. Aerith Gainsborough. R.I.P. Or whatever. I'm not a Final Fantasy head, really. Spoilers or something. It is getting big fast. I think we want to set up this Esper Origins at the very least. Can we do Esper Origins and play this second Walker? I'm going to not really go for the fetch mode quite yet. With the double Icetill on the field, it's a little less important. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, we can just play a tapped Temple Garden here. There's an Ouroboros. We only have one target for the Walker currently. Play an Esper Origins, set up another target for the Walker, grab a Seam Rip here. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of go all in. Not really playing around board wipes. Just going kind of nuts with it. No attacks. Yes, come back to me. Come back to me, my friends. Rise from the deep. Rise from your slumber. Cub on the field. Mana going crazy. Okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna guess we win next turn. We can get another Ouroboros off this Nature's Rhythm. Sheltered by Ghosts. On the Ouroboros. We have a Seam Rip, and they know it. Perhaps a little bit of a goof. But I don't know. What else are they supposed to do? I guess they should have just put it on the Aerith. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. Slumbering Walker. Seam Rip. I guess I'll just hit the bat this time. I have the... I think I can afford it, you know. Enter the Avatar state. Okay, I could have maybe played around that. I kind of assumed they had that kind of effect by the way they were hovering in a previous turn. Get an Ouroboros on the field. Mill some more cards for my Giant here. Play another... Oh, I guess I could just Nature's Rhythm for another Ouroboros. I'm going to play another Esper Origins instead. Hey, Ouroboros. I'm going to put that one in my graveyard. Is that crazy? I could just play it. Yeah, I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to play it. Incredible height. Fear me. Fear me. Infinite mana. Double Ouroboros. Counters on my guys. Start swinging in. I mean, I guess I could swing with... It doesn't really matter. Swing with the gang. Big butts. Nothing to return right now, but that's okay. I don't think they'll be killing me anytime soon. A little more milling. Oh, I guess I could hit something here. Hey, it's another Ouroboros. Do we have any more basics in our deck? 23 cards left. Forest. Okay. Well, I'll return a couple things. Remember, it's a counter, not a -1/-1 counter. The board goes crazy with it. And once again, I mean, this is what I was envisioning for the Bulwark Ox being any kind of good. And it might still be good as a sideboard card against control, where you've successfully Ouroboros it and then you get to protect it, you know? But yeah, that's it, folks. Oh, I guess I have another game on my hands, but feeling pretty good about this one. I think I'll just keep it to 3 for this video. I got to show off pretty much everything I wanted to do. I mean, it's not like anything crazy new happening, and I got to have a couple good Slumbering Walker turns, so I kind of feel like that's pretty much all I could ask for. Let's close this one out, play a third game, and then call it for our matches. Hopefully we get the old 3-0. Ouroboros going crazy with it. Swing with the team. Big trampling. It doesn't... I mean, at the beginning I was like, this doesn't feel good. This feels a little good. I mean, winning is fun, you know? I guess I can see it. Maybe I'm turning to the dark side. Hit my opponent for a cool 88. I mean, to be fair, we are many turns into the game. I don't have any qualms beating my opponent down for 88 damage at this point, right? It's just when it happens on turn 4, and it's like, yeah, I'm just like dead on turn 4. That doesn't feel super good. Rexage could be decent in this matchup. Just run it back as is. Pretty good hand on the draw. Game 3. We have a split up. We have a seam rip. We have our busted opener. Just gonna go for it, I guess. Not too much to worry about when you have Mana Dorks plus Split Up. Quite a lot of control there. Halia. Do you have the land? Kind of feels like they have the land. Adventurers Inn. Very cool. Big fan. Do a little cycling of the Halia. Esper Origins. Pretty nice draw here. Play the Cub. Set up the Esper Origins. Interesting. I kind of think I'm just going to skip on both of these. I mean, obviously Cub is nutty, but I don't need more mana. And putting these in my graveyard makes my Slumbering Walker draws better. I don't have lands in my graveyard for the Icetill anyway. Oh, it's Ouroboros. Well, folks, we had a good run. It's been fun. I guess I get to play around Split Up a little here. Do something like this. Sheltered by Ghosts. Not really a problem for a guy like me. Not really a problem at all. We'll play around the Enter the Avatar state. Just seam rip the Shelter by Ghosts this time, unless they tap out. They might just fully tap out. They're fully tapped out. Okay. Whee! Pay the ward. Do the thing. Play around Split Up again. Swing for 4. Surely I'm not the only person playing Split Up. I would imagine they have it in their deck somewhere, or maybe they just have a hard board wipe. Okay, maybe get another Ouroboros and kill you? Yeah, okay, good game. GG, folks. Gotta have our fun with the Slumbering Walker for a little bit. Expect more Lorwyn content. I mean, I am low on wild cards already after crafting my 4th Temple Garden and Slumbering Walkers, but I just had to get this out of my system. I know. Ouroboros plus Cub. The only post I've ever made on YouTube is referencing how they can take a hike, but here we are. Just as a brief aside, I'm going to spend the next minute just kind of glossing over some cards I'm excited about that you might expect to see in future videos if you're sticking around. Otherwise, if you don't want to stick around for that, thank you so much for watching. Been a pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for coming. I'll be posting mostly standard content every day, mostly Magic the Gathering content every day. I may have some other stuff in the works, but I would guess you could say 95 of my content will be Magic the Gathering related for the foreseeable future. Anyway, just a little bit of yapping for you here. Some cards that really stick out to me. I'm excited for Winnowing, weirdly enough. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all other creatures they control that don't share a creature type with the chosen creature they control. Essentially, I see this if you're playing a mono-white tribal deck or like a white X tribal deck. Kithkin I have on the mind right now for some reason. I don't know. I've been enamored. I've taken a fancy to the Kithkin for some reason. But as an answer to the like Ouroboros lists, very likely that they haven't dealt with your board, so you can convoke this pretty easily. And pretty likely that they have an Earthbent land on the field. So if you just choose their Earthbent land, none of their other creatures will share a creature type with that. And so they have to sacrifice everything but the Earthbent land. Which, one-sided board wipes are pretty good. I know we have Split Up already, but the advantage of this over Split Up is that, like, you just wipe their whole board, right? You don't have to worry about them having some combination of Ouroboros plus Badgermole Cub situation or something, and something's untapped, and it's a lot harder to play around, essentially. and you're not wrathing your own board with something like Day of Judgment. So pretty curious about this one. Haven't tested it. Excited to. And once again, Kithkin in general, I'm excited to show that off. They get some pretty cool lords. I think in particular, the like 2-mana uncommon Kithkin are quite strong. As for other rares and mythic rares that I'm kind of looking at, goblins have really piqued my interest as well. I think obviously Rakdos is the color combination to be in for that, but I think you could also splash into green and do some of the classic like exhaust stuff with the Afterburner Specialist from Aetherdrift, and like the Draconautics Engineer, and then maybe on top of that do like an Agatha Soul Cauldron sort of graveyard style brew with the Grubs command really enabling that. Like 5-mana relevant. Not only is it's like a good mid-range card, but also here it is. It also mills your goblins into the graveyard for you. I guess you have to put the goblins into your hand, but presumably you have some kind of discard outlet anyway. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I think it's an interesting idea. That's probably on the back burner as far as like my MTGA collection goes, but eventually. Also, Doran, Besieged by Time. I've kind of taken a fancy to this card as well, with after playing it in the pre-release. Each creature you cast with toughness greater than its power costs 1 less. I'm not sure how relevant that line of text is. And whenever a creature you control attacks or blocks, it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the difference between its power and toughness. So this naturally by itself swings as a 5/10, which is decent, I don't know how good it is in the current kind of standard, but it's pretty resilient to the kind of removal in standard. You could also Meek attack this out, which is kind of interesting. And there's some other shenanigans you could do with that. Maybe like there might be some cards that like swap power and toughness, or yeah, I'm not entirely sure there, but just a thought I had. You can Meek attack it out. Abigail Eloquent first year. I know a lot of people are talking about this card. I think it's pretty interesting. It's piqued my interest a little bit with the like Monoist Sentry, that uncommon 4/1 defender for 1 in from Edge of Eternities. Mutable Explorer, another card that I will definitely have a 4 of in my collection pretty soon. There's a lot I want to do with this. Namely, I think this is another reason to be in Jund for goblins, for that sort of ramp idea, where you can cast this on turn 3 and then turn 4 play your Grubs command or what have you. I kind of see this right now as sort of an honorary goblin. That kind of makes the most sense to me with how the other goblin cards shape up to more of a mid-range style deck than anything. I mean, obviously you could play it in elves, what have you. That's about it. Sapling Nursery, I think this looks kind of busted. We might see this we might see this do some pretty powerful stuff along with Icetill Explorer and whatever else other landfall synergies there are out there. Goliath Daydreamer caught my attention a little bit. 4 mana 4/4, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it instead of putting it into your graveyard, and then whenever it attacks, you may cast a spell you own in exile with dream counters without paying its mana cost. So just being able to double up on all of your spells. I kind of feel like there's like maybe a perfect like 5 mana instant or sorcery that if you get to consistently double it, kind of goes crazy. It seems like very, very little investment for a potentially like high ceiling. Kind of curious about that one as well. Haven't seen much discourse, and there are also the kind of known quantities, I suppose, people are talking about being pretty good, like Formidable Speaker, and we saw one of the elementals, the black-white one. So, I think the elementals are all pretty decent, and I think they'll all see some amount of play in standard. Even the slug. I think the people out there are probably the lowest on the slug in general. Catharsis. But I could see this. At base rate, like 2 mana to make 2 1/1s, you'd have to probably be a dedicated Boros deck for this to be any kind of good, to be able to consistently cast it for double, evoke it for double white on turn 2. But the top end is pretty good. For 6 mana, I would imagine it wins a lot of games. Make 2 1/1s and give all of your creatures 1/1 in haste. Seems kind of good to me. I bet that closes out a lot of games. Anywho, folks, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.